Good morning and welcome to Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's September 24th of 2014. I'm Hani Cholapansa Narula. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has refused that he had an idea to dissolve local administrative organizations, saying they were a part of what the National Reform Council set out to reform. The Prime Minister said the government now focused on how to raise the standards of the organizations and help them spend budget in a transparent and fair manner. The organizations had to figure what projects they would implement for the locals in their areas with support from the government. The point was to equally allocate funds to all areas across the country. General Prayut also stressed that all Thais, whether they lived in the northern, central, eastern or western parts of the country, must benefit from the government's budget. This was an important policy of the present administration. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has confirmed the selection of members of the National Reform Council, or NRC, is transparent and expected that it will be completed on the 2nd of October. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who is also chief of the NCPO, National Council for Peace and Order, said that he had already received the list of 550 NRC nominations. He said the council would meet next week before the selection was completed and stressed that the nominations were being screened by a panel of people who had relevant qualifications and experiences. Regarding the work of the NCPO, the Prime Minister said the council met once a month after it was reorganized. New members of the NCPO were responsible for a job similar to the government's, with Michai Richupan overseeing legal affairs and Somkit Chatusi Pisak economic issues. The Premier stated further that the NCPO had continuously transferred its works to the government and it was now in the second phase of its roadmap. General Prayut added that the NCPO had made people happier during the past 4 months and it would continue to work urgently and transparently. The Secretary General of the Election Commission has expressed satisfaction over the selection of the National Reform Council members. EC Secretary General Kun Puchong Nutrawong said that the decision to disclose the identities of the candidates of the 250-member National Reform Council lies in the discretion of the National Council for Peace and Order. Mr. Puchong said that the EC merely performs the administrative part of the NRC selection and has no decision-making power. What he could say is that so far, the EC has been satisfied with how the selection process has progressed after as many as 7,370 qualified candidates from various professions have applied to be selected. The number was much higher than the EC has anticipated. The EC Secretary General went on to say that once the NRC is officially set up, the Commission work on its own restructuring and get ready for the drafting of the new Constitution and all subordinate laws. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered all ministries to drop a work plan for each of their departments and turn in a progress report on a weekly basis. During the weekly cabinet meeting, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha instructed the ministers to convene with the National Council for Peace and Order every month in order for the latter to follow up on state affairs. Their first meeting has been scheduled for October 7th at the Royal Thai Army Club on Vipavadi Rangsit Road. In regards to the action plan required to be submitted by each ministry via the Prime Minister's office once a week, the Prime Minister explained that it should be composed of 2 parts. One is an operational plan of every unit under the ministry's supervision, and the other is a report of outcomes and accomplishments. Moreover, General Prayut commented on the disbursement of budgets to small projects, saying the process would need to be completed within the first 3 months of the new fiscal year so as to promptly boost cash circulation and stimulate the economy at large. At the meeting, the Prime Minister also announced postponement of cabinet meeting, reasoning that he would need to attend a ceremony to pass on his army chief title to his successor. The Cabinet has agreed to appoint a number of high-ranking officials to new positions during its weekly meeting. Kun Chatpong Chatrakom has been appointed to the position as Director of the National Intelligence Agency, replacing outgoing Kun Suwapan Tanyuwatana. Kun Nakhon Silapa Acha will also replace Kun Jirasak Sukontachat as the new Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Labour, since Kun Jirasak is retiring at the end of the month. National Security Council Chief Thawin Prinsi is also due to retire at the end of September. His replacement has not been named during the Cabinet meeting, but suggestions will be forwarded to the Cabinet for consideration on September 30th. Several officials who hold posts in the Ministry of Justice and the Department of Special Investigation, or DSI, will be retiring soon as well. No candidates have been put forward for Cabinet approval. Meanwhile, the Cabinet has approved 1.39 trillion baht budget framework for state enterprises for the year 2015 and also made available 650 billion baht for the 56 state enterprises to draw from for the purpose of making investments. Deputy Transport Minister Akhom Term Pithiyaphaisit said on Tuesday that for 2015, the combined income of all 56 state enterprises is expected to be 2 trillion baht, while the combined expense is expected to be 1.9 trillion. Along with the approval of the 650 billion baht credit for investment, each minister has been urged to oversee the ministry's respective state enterprises' investments to ensure that ultimately no less than 95% of the approved amount is disbursed. The progress of each state enterprise will also be reported to the National Economic and Social Development Board on the 5th of every month. Mr. Akhom also revealed that some ministries have been tasked with evaluating whether to terminate certain state enterprises under their jurisdiction. Indonesia's Supreme Commander believes in the expansion of the Thai and Indonesian government relationship in the future. Supreme Commander General Thanasak Patimapakon welcomed General Muldoko, Supreme Commander of Indonesia, and his colleagues on the official visit to develop the relationship between the Thai and Indonesian armies. The Supreme Commander of Indonesia also believes that, as General Thanasak is the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, the bond between Thailand and Indonesia will further strengthen. A medal ceremony was held to acknowledge the role of the Indonesian Army as international terrorism prevention specialists and to express friendship between the two armies. The occasion included a demonstration of an international terrorism prevention maneuver by Indonesia. The Royal Thai Police are planning to increase street lighting and install 50,000 more CCTV cameras across 283 danger areas throughout Bangkok in a bid to beef up security and reduce the rate of crime. Acting Police Chief Police General Wacharapon Prasan Rachakit met with representatives from 88 police stations, 50 district offices and the Metropolitan Electricity Authority to come up with measures to increase security throughout the capital. The meeting agreed to install more street lights and CCTV cameras in areas that are ridden with crime, mostly in crowded communities. The installation is expected to take at least 60 days. Meanwhile, the police will also deploy more personnel to patrol dangerous areas in a bid to reduce criminal activities relating to bodily assault and robbery. As the Vegetarian Festival begins, the Department of Internal Trade went down to local markets to inspect the prices of fresh vegetables and also vegetarian food to ensure fair pricing. The DIT Director General, Kun Chintana Chaiwanakon, went down to the Nonthaburi Municipality Fresh Market yesterday to look into the prices of vegetarian food items. According to her, the prices of these food items are similar to those of last year, and there have been no reports of unfair food pricing practices by the vendors. Regarding the measures to regulate food prices, Commerce Minister General Chatchai Sarikalaya has ordered officials to keep an eye on the matter. The ministry is set to hold a meeting tomorrow on how to regulate price controls should the cost of certain vegetarian food items be inordinate. The ministry may keep the prices pegged. Now, the Vegetarian Festival is marked twice this year. It begins today, September 24th to October the 2nd. That's the first round. And the second round starts October 24th till November the 1st. The Director General of the Public Relations Department has chaired the final meeting to ensure united efforts in public relations work with related officials and local volunteers in the northern region of Thailand. The PRD Director General, Kun Apinan Jantarangsi, together with his deputy, Dr. Tarun Chayason and other high-ranking officials held a meeting with public relations staff and the network of village volunteers for public relations in the northern region to clarify the three-stage roadmap of the NCPO. Mr. Apinan said that the distortion of information in the media was a major obstacle to help support reconciliation efforts. As such, it is important for the public relations staff, related officials and volunteers to be on the same page as they implement policies in accordance with the NCPO's roadmap. The Director General said the goal of the roadmap is to facilitate a general election by the end of 2015 or the beginning of 2016 at the latest. He said public participation was crucial to the success of the upcoming polls. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, or DDPM, is outlining new action plans for disaster management in the country in a bid to develop better risk management systems. DDPM Director General Chachai Promlert said during a seminar on the National Action Plan that the Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Act 2007 has been drafted to cover a wide range of disaster prevention measures, and more action plans needed to be issued to handle localized disaster management work. The National Disaster Prevention Action Plan is in effect during 2010 to 2014, will soon expire, and a new master plan is set to be devised for use in the coming years. Related public and private agencies and international organizations have been invited to help map out a new plan. The new plan, set to be in force next year, will focus on 4 areas, including strengthening the capacity of disaster management work during emergency situations and supporting more cooperations between nations. The National Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Committee will forward the outcome of the discussion during the seminar to the Cabinet for consideration. The new plan is slated to be approved by the Cabinet by January of next year. In today's segment of Now or Never, Dr. Yongyut Mayalap, the spokesperson of the National Council for Peace and Order, will talk about the government's economic stimulus measures. Let's take a look.
สวัสดีครับ Welcome to Now or Never, the program that updates you on the achievements of the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, and the work progress of the government. Regarding the overall picture of the economy, problems with income and cost of living, the government and the NCPO give great importance to these issues and have solved many problems. Recently, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha invited economic agencies and experts in various fields to discuss together on the present Thai economic situation and future trends for Thailand. This involved in-depth discussions of economic statistics. The meeting found that confidence among foreign investors and domestic consumers was on the rise. However, the Thai economic recovery is still vulnerable to domestic and external factors, such as our competitive capacity and foreign conflicts in various regions. The development of the competitive capacity of the Thai economy through measures such as promoting investment in industries that involve the use of modern technology, the production of goods that meet market demands, the development of transportation infrastructure, the reform of measures facilitating business owners and investors, the reform of laws, regulations, processes that will facilitate trade and investment, the modern management of agriculture. All of these will require time to implement. The current recovery of the economy may have positive effects only on certain people and business owners. The effects of the recovery have not been felt by many people on low income in various localities and regions across the country. The Prime Minister is very concerned for this group of citizens, apart from expediting budgetary measures for the first quarter, which are designed to spread money through the economic systems into the hands of the people as quickly as possible. He has also delegated the Ministry of Finance, the Bureau of the Budget, the Ministry of Interior, and the Comptroller General's Department to formulate measures to look after the people in those localities and regions. The authorities have been asked to consider using excess budget, such as leftover budget from the previous budgetary year, budget from the local administration, and budget from the Thai Khem Khang or Strong Thailand projects to fund a stimulus program for the economy of communities. These measures should help to create jobs, generate income, and respond to the different needs of the people of every group and every region in a fair, equitable, and thorough manner as quickly as possible. สวัสดีครับ
And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. And now let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. After that, we'll take a short break. And Newsline will return with international news, a look at the situation of Ebola in Liberia. Stay with us.
Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thailand to the world. New dimension of the government's public relations. The 81st anniversary of Public Relations Department. Creative media for society and mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
Thai people are born in such a unique place. We have lots of water, so we float markets on it, throw it for festive fun, and use it to shower elephants. We have rice in the fields, fish in the water, and we always make lots of it so we can share. The way of Thai, our way of unique happiness, and it begins with the people. Amazing Thailand.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. German aid organizations yesterday joined international efforts to try to combat Ebola in the Liberian capital, Monrovia. At least 1,000 people have died already from the virus in Liberia alone. The German organizations International Search and Rescue and Action Meteor have brought supplies to help with the construction of a new Ebola isolation center. Ebola, a hemorrhagic fever, has killed 2,811 people since March this year, in an epidemic centered around the West African nations of Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. Recently, the World Health Organization's report indicated that 70% of those infected by the disease have died. U.S. Navy video showed the guided missile cruiser USS Philippine Sea launching Tomahawk land attack missiles, or TLAM, against Islamic State or IS targets. The United States and its Arab allies bombed militant groups in Syria for the first time yesterday, killing scores of Islamic State fighters, members of a separate al-Qaeda-linked group, and opening a new front amid shifting Middle East alliances. The attacks encountered no objection and even signs of tacit approval from President Bashar al-Assad's Syrian government, which said Washington had warned Damascus in advance. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates, or UAE, participated in the supported strikes against Islamic State targets. That is according to the U.S. Central Command. The countries are hostile to Assad, but now fear the fighters who emerged from the rebellion they backed in Syria's 3-year-old civil war. And a bit on the Incheon Games, Thailand secured a gold medal and a bronze medal from the Asian Games through the efforts of its bowling athletes. Yanapon Lab Aparat scored 1,319 points in the final round of the men's singles bowling event, edging Du Jiancha of China, who was awarded silver after scoring 1,300 points. Yanapon's medal was the first gold for Thailand in the 2014 Asian Games. Meanwhile, Sithipon Kunakson was just 1 point shy of his Chinese competitor and grabbed the bronze medal. In weightlifting, all right, now to weightlifting. Thailand's Olympic medalist Pimsiri Kao competed in the 63-kilogram class. She lifted 108 kilograms in the snatch and 134 kilograms in clean and jerk. With a combined weight of 242 kilograms, she placed fifth in the event and was unable to secure any medal. The gold went to Taiwan's Lin Soo Chi, who also set the world record in the clean and jerk and overall lift. Lin lifted 145 kilograms and achieved 259 kilograms in the overall lift. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Newsline. If you do have any suggestions or any comments, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook. Very easy. Simply type in NNT in the search box and you can keep abreast of the news that is happening all day, every day. Should you be more convenient to have a look at the website, well, we do have a website as well. That is thainews.prd.go.th/newseng. And today, Newsline says goodbye with the annual Vegetarian Festival in Phuket Province. The festival starts today, September 24th, and runs until the 1st of October before the second round starts again on the 24th of October and ends on the 2nd of November. So do enjoy the festival. Thank you very much for joining Newsline. Newsline will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. As for now, have a good one. Swadee ka.